Hey everybody, it's Kaylin here again. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to show you a little look through the Horizons Phonics and Reading program for their Level 1 books. We have just finished the Level K books and have selected Level 1, but I didn't feel like there was really a lot of opportunity for me to flip through the book and see how they laid it out and how it was different from the kindergarten year. So I wanted to provide this video for anybody who might be interested in seeing a little bit more what the Level 1 unit looks like. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as I mentioned, this is the Level 1 book, and I want to show you the difference to how Level 1 looks different from the Level K. Here we have the end of the Level K book. Level K has 160 lessons, so I have lesson 157 and 158. So these are the very end of the lesson. But I will tell you, if you haven't done the Level K book, that almost all of their lessons are going to be laid out similar to these two lessons that I'm showing you here. All of them will have a large illustration on the top that shows you which letter sound you're going to be working on during that lesson. And then they'll have anywhere from 1 to, about 10 lessons that you're going to be working on, 10 activities within the lesson that you're going to be working on with your student to practice that letter sound, as well as review previous letter sounds that you have done. So this is how Level K is set up. There's lots of colorful illustrations, large handwriting or large print that the student can read, minimal writing activities, but there is some writing and lots of pictures and stuff like that. Okay, so this particular lesson is 3 pages. This particular lesson is 2 pages, but you'll see, I'll just show you quickly, it's laid out very similar to the previous lesson. So all of Level K is set up like this, mostly with very few exceptions. There's a couple of review pages that won't have the large illustration here on the top, but very full of pictures and large print and all that kind of stuff, okay? So we go from this to, let me show you now, what the Level 1 book looks like and how different it is set up. So you're going to notice right away that they don't have that large print on the front of the lesson that's going to show you what you're learning. The lessons are laid out all very similar. You have this little vehicle in the front here, which is going to show you which lesson number you're on, and then what you're going to be learning is in print right next to that vehicle. And then you will be jumping into the lesson right after that with very little exception or very little instruction. Each of the activities are numbered in this blue number with like a little pencil in it, and the lesson length is actually quite a bit different here. In the beginning of the lessons, you're going to have about the same length as the Level K book. These are all about 2 pages front and back. But once you begin going deeper into the lesson material, you're going to find that it's mostly 1 page front and back, and you're going to have fewer pictures and illustrations to fill up the lesson material. I wanted to point out here on this page, lots of times I get questions as to whether or not I recommend purchasing the teacher's manual or the teacher's guide along with the lesson material. And for the Horizons Phonics program, I do choose to purchase it for myself because you'll have pages like this, which are full of illustrations, and you need to be able to know what the picture is trying to say or be so that you can find the correct answer. So for activity number 3, it's going to say draw an X through the pictures that have the sound of the short I. And you need to know what each of these pictures are so that you can say whether or not it is the short I sound. Some of them are easy to tell, but others of them might be more difficult. So I choose to have it just because if I come across a page that has an illustration that I don't know what it is, then it's easy for me to be able to figure it out just by looking in the lesson material or in the teacher's manual. So if you can find the teacher's guide, maybe you can get it secondhand or used, and that's usually the best way to go so that you can have those references when you need them. The other thing I'll note here, so you have here on the top of lesson 6 is the rule. Throughout the duration of the lesson material, all of the rules will be in these yellow rectangular boxes. They pop out really easily so that you know when you need to stop the lesson work and and go over a new rule or review a rule that your student has already learned. It just helps, especially if you've got multiple kids that you're trying to work with, then you can see where your student is and know when you need to stop so that you can teach them something or review something with them. This particular lesson also has a few games. They introduced crossword puzzles. The level K did not do this very often. I'm going to say maybe once or twice. I do recall doing it briefly, but you do a lot more crossword puzzle type games in this level 1 material. Something else that you get in level 1 that you don't get in level K are tests. This is an example of the test. This particular test is 2 pages. It is 2 pages front and back with illustrations. As you go throughout the material and get deeper into the unit or into the course, the tests become shorter and the writing expectation becomes longer. So the reason it's shorter is because there's going to be fewer pictures. But there are tests about every 10 lessons. So there are 160 lessons. And so I don't know, do the math. How many tests is that? Okay, so I'm just going to flip through these lessons relatively quickly. As you notice, when you go deeper into the lesson material, the lessons do become shorter, and eventually you will be only having 1-page lessons, front and back. So I'm just going to flip through here really quickly so that you can get an idea of how the lessons graduate upon each other, okay? Here in lesson 64, your student is going to be writing a story. So you read the instructions on this side, and then your student will actually write their own story on this side. The writing does become a little bit more whatever as you go throughout the lesson material. You're going to start writing a letter here. This is lesson 69, and they give you the pages to write the letter for here as well. Now that's your whole lesson, is to write the letter. So, whoops. Okay. So lesson 69 is to write the letter. That's a relatively short lesson. And here's your lesson 70. It's 1 page as well. And then you're going to do your test here. Okay? Let me show you just really quickly some of the pages here in book number 2. They're all set up the same. You do have some lessons where you're going to be writing a story. This is writing a narrative, a personal narrative. And then you go through and practice more language arts skills. A book report about an animal. Here's writing 4 sentences using at least 8 words from this lesson. Write a personal narrative experience. Words in the dictionary are listed in alphabetical order. Write the words in alphabetical order. In these particular lessons, now we're clear up to lesson 141. You'll notice the lessons are 1 page front and back. And I really like that as a part of this lesson material because my student tends to get, disinterested, I guess, before we even start if there are a lot of pages to the lesson. So the fact that these are all 1 page each, it just is really nice because he just feels like he can get through the work a lot better that way. Okay? So there you go. This is, again, the level 1 book for the Horizons material. I'm really looking forward to this year, and I am planning to do our homeschool life again. So if you are interested in watching how our first grade year goes and all of our curriculum and all that good stuff, then subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those videos as they will begin to come here in the fall. Have a great day, guys.